Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. And this is a sound off on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So far I have been enjoying season 16 and seems like the rest of this season is going to stress me out. And I don't do good with all of that. Okay, so last week's episode, Angela tells us that her mother and her sister, they don't really get along with her husband, but she helps take care of them financially through her husband. And so, I assumed, well, yeah. If you're going through things with your man, if you tell your mama, you tell your sister, they're not gonna like your man. We all know that. Well, this episode, she tells us that they don't get along with her daughter either. Well, now I'm starting to think, okay, they don't get along with your daughter. They don't get along with your man. Do they get along with you? What's tea? Do we really even want to know? Look, one thing I cannot take is no more family drama on the Housewives, okay? Kyle and Kathy and Kim, Teresa, her brother and her sister-in-law, we don't need no more of that, okay? So if that's what it is, Angela, girl, I ain't gonna be able to do it. I'm really not gonna be able to do it. Because why they don't like your daughter? It's really, it's giving they don't like you either. Are you gonna tell us the real? Do we even wanna know? Yeah, I just can't. I just can't. Like, this is gonna trigger my real trauma and I just can't do it. I don't like where this is going. Now, as for Angela's daughter, Amari, I think that's her name, Amari secretly got married and didn't tell her mother. And Angela is distraught because she feels like, that's my daughter, that's my girl. Like, we like this, we like that. I gave that girl life, okay? And we are tight. How would she get married and not tell me? And, I don't know Amari. And I don't really know Angela. I don't know none of these people. But, I can't imagine why your daughter wouldn't share with you that she was engaged and getting married. I don't know. I can only assume. It's giving, there's red flags, okay? Let's keep it real. It's like one of two things. Either she's in like a unhealthy relationship, maybe toxic, maybe isolating, I don't know. And he didn't want nobody to know. And, he didn't want nobody to know. She didn't want to be talked out of it. He didn't want her to get talked out of it. Or she didn't want him to, I don't know. It's giving unhealthy. It's giving toxic. I can tell you that. Now, it also could be that y'all family dynamic is raggedy and she doesn't want that to taint her relationship with her man. It could be that. Because if her stepdaddy is this rich asshole who possibly had a side baby on her mama, yeah, maybe she don't want to introduce her man to none of this. She was like, let me marry him before he gets to know how crazy y'all are. It could be that too. I don't know. Are we gonna find out? We'll see. Okay, so we see everyone reacting to Angela's dinner and how Britt exploded on Kenya for absolutely no reason. No real reason at all. She just went off. The girl lost her damn mind. Child. Okay, so this is what I think. I do like the fact that she apologized. She came through and she apologized. Everyone got to tell her how they felt. Shamia told her, girl, you was wrong. You did too much. Angela did the same. Portia did the same. I appreciated that. So this, there's a lot of talk going around about how Bravo handled things, how they ignored Kenya. Clearly they didn't ignore her. Clearly they had a conversation with Britt. And that is why I believe she's going around apologizing and trying to fix her situation. a lot of good that did. Okay, so here's what I think about Brit, right? I've seen a lot of people say that Brit is giving fans. She studied the show and she was a fan of Kenya, a fan of the show, and you know, she's behaving like a fan. I have to disagree. I don't think she's a fan of the show. I don't think she's probably watched the show. And maybe once she was being considered for the show, she probably binge watched the show. She probably learned a couple of things and came back and tried to like play like she was one of the girls. But I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Not what I've seen so far. No. What it looks like to me is Brit is one of those girls that's been wanting to be famous her whole life. She doesn't have like an obvious talent. And so where do everyone go when they don't have like a specific talent? Reality TV. She's already shared with us that she's been doing music videos since she was in high school. Now, I know a lot of y'all didn't believe her, like, oh, she's lying about her age or whatever. But I had 2 friends in high school that were doing music videos and doing photo shoots and stuff like that. A lot of times, these local rappers, they don't have the budgets for, like, you know, established models. So they get regular girls straight out of high school, girls that are still in high school to be in their music videos. So that wasn't really that much of a stretch for me. It is what it is. But one could imagine someone who has been in music videos since they were still in high school, that already kind of tells you what kind of young adult life that they had, okay? She's probably been told she's beautiful her whole life. She wants to be famous. She wants to make money. She wants to be around a certain, you know, group of people. She wants to live a certain lifestyle. So right then and there, we know that girl done been in some things, okay? I truly feel like Brit is one of those girls that has tried out for every reality show known to man. Like anyone that she could get near, she has auditioned, she has tried out, she has, you know, tried to be on the show. And she's just lucky enough that she landed on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think she's tried every show. I don't think that she truly understands reality TV. You know, there are the girls that get it and there are the girls that don't get it, right? Like us girls that are on YouTube and that watch these reviews and make these reviews, we watch it in a different way than maybe some other girls would watch it, right? Like we remember this happened and we can like break down the psychology of things and the dynamics and the groups and like, oh, when she said this, that was a read and it landed. And when she said that, girl, that was nonsense. Like there are the girls that get it and there are the girls that don't get it. And Brit Edie gives me that she's one of the girls that don't really get it. Okay, all she knows is there are cameras, there is fame attached to it, there are opportunities attached, and there is a check attached. But I don't feel like she's one of those girls that really get it. I'm not quite sure. Well, I am sure. I was gonna say I'm not quite sure why they chose her, but I do understand why they chose her, because someone who don't know what they're signing up for, they usually make for good TV because they're willing to do any and everything. They'll do anything. And that's a producer's dream. A dummy, a crash dummy. Yes, that's what they like. And Brit Edie is for real giving crash dummy right about now. And girl, I'm not trying to kick you when you're down, but you are giving just that. I say all of that to say that if Brit was a real fan, a true fan of Real Housewives of Atlanta, she would know better than to come for Kenya. Her first season, her rookie season, she would know better. If she'd been watching, if she really knew what was up, she would know better than to go for Kenya. She would know. I think that obviously the producers got in her head and was like, yeah, we need a moment. I think she was under pressure. I think she cracked under pressure. She was really trying to be like, yeah, me and Kenya got a problem because she came from my ring and she shaded me and she did this and she did that and she don't talk to me nice and she makes me feel dumb. You know, when Portia was giving her assessment that Brit had preconceived notions, but Kenya never gave her the energy she was expecting to receive, that was spot on. Like, y'all be saying Portia dumb, but she not dumb all the way, baby. She said it the way that it was, okay? She was not dumb in that moment. She knew what she was talking about. And I think with Brit, don't want to give her an excuse, but I really feel like she didn't know what she was doing. She just was saying shit. Like, Kenya ignored you. She let you just talk and she ignored you. You guys are leaving. She's not even looking your direction. She's not looking your way. She's not paying you any kind of attention. She's walking back to leave. And then you just start saying, ooh, let me not turn my back to the threat or whatever she said. Kelly asked her, are you good though? You're good. You know, I got so-and-so with me because you know she has security. And then Britt was like, yeah, because I got my pistol on me. Like, what are you talking about? Kenya's not even talking to you. She's not looking at you. She's not engaging you. She don't even remember that you're there. And you're like, yeah, you start talking. Initially, she was saying it as if Kenya was bothering her, but Kenya was not even paying her any attention. And then it was like when Kenya continued to ignore her, then it's like something switched. And she's like, yeah, she gonna learn today. You try that fake stuff on TV stuff, not with me. And y'all was there. Y'all saw what she said. And it just didn't make any sense. And when I had to go back and watch, I was like, because I went back and watched both episodes twice. And I was just like, this girl was just saying anything. She was just saying anything. And probably hoping that the editors would grab something from the nonsense that she was saying and make her look good. That's what I think happened. I really think that she doesn't understand what she signed up for. She's just there to be seen and to be heard and to get a check and to become famous. That's what was happening. That's what we saw. And I don't think she realized the seriousness of it until Bravo was like, girl, you messed up. That's why we see her apologizing. And then even when she left Shamia's house, she made another threat. Now, again, I don't want to excuse Britt, but somebody who talk noise like that, I don't think you really about that. You ain't really about that life. Like, you're not really that girl. You're not about that action. You have too much plastic surgery going on to be going around fighting. You don't live that life for real. You just said it because you thought it made you sound cool, made you sound tough, made you sound like you that girl. But you're not really that girl for real. Because, like, I don't know. I'm not shading nobody who has a lot of plastic surgery, but it's like you got your nose done, you got your booty done, you got your boobs done. You got into a fight and somebody really wanted to cause damage. Wouldn't they just go for one of them things like that nose? The nose is one of the best places to aim if you punching somebody. It's like, girl, you don't give me that you be fighting. You just don't give me that. I'm just saying. So I believe that she's literally barking and doing all of that because she thinks it makes her look like she's that girl. She thinks it makes her sound cool and sound tough. And she don't know what she's doing. It would have been one thing if she started reading Kenya's outfit or saying, girl, you came in here. Like, if she would have said something like, I don't know, girl, your hair is boring, or your outfit is this, or something. Like, a real Housewife of Atlanta fan would know how to read. You don't just show up and just start spewing nonsense and start making threats. That makes no sense. So, yeah, I really think that she showed up to filming and she didn't know what to do. And she came at Kenya and that was the wrong move. Now, as for Kenya. Okay. Can I say that Kenya came on this season and she did everything right up until last night's episode. Kenya, you were doing so good. And I sympathize with Kenya a little bit because I feel like for those of y'all who've been here, who've been watching, Kenya has not had the easiest time on this show. I feel like, y'all know I don't even see it for Kenya like that. I ain't never really seen it for Kenya like that. Y'all know that, okay? Before Housewives, I used to always think she was so beautiful. Like, she literally, in my mind, is what I consider to be Black beauty personified. Like, I think the lady is gorgeous. Growing up, I always thought she was beautiful. But now Housewives, she got on my nerves, okay? She got on my nerves. A lot of her antics, I just wasn't amused by it. Like, I just wasn't. I know some people be like, oh my God. Like, That cookie lady thing that she did with Tanya, that shit pissed me off. But we're not talking about that. But I do understand that Kenya had to fight to even be on this show. From what the people say, she had to jump through hurdles to be on this show. She blazed the trail, though, I can tell you that. She definitely helped upgrade the franchise when she joined. I will never take that from her. She's definitely had some iconic moments on this show. She knows how to read. She is, you know, she's a great sparring opponent. I will never take that from her because I ain't gonna lie. Before she got there, I thought Phaedra was okay. But when her and Phaedra would go at it, I was like, oh, like her and Phaedra going back and forth, baby, I was here for all of that, okay? But I mean, I do get it. She's been there since season 5. It is now season 16. That's a long time to be on TV. And it's a long time to be a villain. It's a long time for people to be saying mean and nasty things. She's somebody's mama now. She's older. She's somebody's mama. She's trying to move to the next level. So if y'all watched Kenya's interview with Carlos King last year, I made a video, but I decided not to post it. Kind of wish I had posted it now, but whatever. In that interview, Kenya aired a lot of her grievances with Bravo. Okay, or the show. Let me say the show. Because sometimes it's not really Bravo. Sometimes it's truly the production company, Truly Entertainment. And then sometimes it's Bravo and sometimes it's both. So I'm just going to say the show. But she had some issues. She stated a couple of times how she didn't like the process of how they were choosing women these days to be on the show. She felt like she wasn't protected. She felt like she didn't like how they treated her. She was villainized, all the things, you know. I also feel like Kenya didn't like the fact that they didn't cast her friend, Akila. But y'all saw her. She was bringing her everywhere last season. And I think that Kenya didn't like the fact that they wouldn't put her friend on the show. Ooh, Kenya, girl. But yeah, so I feel like if you watch the energy she had in that interview with Carlos King and the things that she was saying, a lot of what she was saying is what somebody would say when they've left the job or they have intentions on leaving the job. Like, usually some of those opinions, you should probably keep it to yourself if you still want to be employed with that job. But she really put it out there how she was feeling. She was not pleased. She was not pleased with the show and how things were going. Oh, she was also upset that they moved her seat. Y'all know that I think season 5, 6, 7, and 8, Kenya always had first chair. Nene would have first chair to Andy's left, and she would have first chair to Andy's right. And season 9, they moved her chair. She said, I think she said something like, you don't move my chair. You could put Candy anywhere, but you don't move my chair. You would never move Nene's chair. You would never move that person's chair. You don't move my chair. And season 9, I think it was Candy in her spot. Season 10, it was Portia. Season 11, she wasn't there. Season 12, nobody had the first chair because it was virtual. And then season 13 was kind of weird. Season 14, they gave her seat to Marlo. You know she was mad about that. They gave Marlo and Sheree the first chair, and she was not having it. Last season, I don't remember. Was it Drew? I really don't remember. Last season it was so booty. That season was trash. I'm so sorry. But yeah, she had a lot of issues with Bravo. She wasn't pleased with them. So I say all of that to say that ever since this situation between Britt and Kenya, it was like, or let me rewind. When Kenya went on Tamron Hall to address this whole revenge P-word situation and her suspension from ROA, she basically said on there that the reason why she did what she did to Britt was she was afraid because Britt threatened her and she was scared for her safety and her child's safety. I wish that she had not done that. I wish that she had not done a lot of stuff, but I wish she hadn't done that because that irritates me, because now after seeing everything unfold, we now know that you did not operate out of fear. You operated out of anger. You operated out of vengeance. You were pissed off. You were pissed off. When that girl was saying all that stuff she was saying to you, you went to Bravo, you told them what she did to you, and you didn't like how they handled situations. So you weren't afraid when you retaliated. That wasn't fear. That wasn't, oh, I need to make this move to protect me and mine. That was, I'm pissed off and y'all gonna hear about it. I'm pissed off and I'm ready to shake the table. That's what you did. And for that, Kenya, I can't get with it. I can't get with none of that. So here's the thing. I told you I went back and watched both episodes twice. When I went back and watched last week's episode, I noticed while she was either in the car with Portia or right before she got unmiked, Kenya said, please, I want her to do something to me so she could be gone. She needs to be gone. And I was like, damn, Kenya, you messed up yourself, girl. You messed yourself up, girl. Because you went on Tamron Hall. And I'm going to refer to Tamron Hall appearance because I need to. You went on Tamron Hall and you cried and you said the reason you did what you did was because you were afraid. This girl threatened your life and your child's life, and you were operating out of fear. You needed to protect yourself and your child. You've never been a mom before. And so for her to threaten you now as a mother, it was a different thing. And I was with you, girl, on you need to protect yourself. But how does showing people stuff, how does that protect you? How does, like, that does the opposite. You don't go and provoke an unhinged person, because now you don't know what they gonna do. Now they gonna try to make right on their threat. So when I was watching last night's episode, right, and she was like, it's so weird because I'm not sure if it was a confessional or what, but Portia said it's looking like she wants to retaliate. That seems like the space that Kenya's in right now. I don't want to watch it a fourth time. Like, I don't. But Portia said that, and I was just like, damn, you know your friend, girl. You know your co-star. Because that's exactly what Kenya did. Kenya retaliated. So when Britt showed up to her event, she told security, don't let anyone in who doesn't have the wristband. I don't know what happened. Maybe production was like, girl, get in there. I don't know what happened. So Britt gets in there and she pays Britt complete dust. Britt is trying to apologize and she paid her complete dust. And I was with her I was with Kenya. I really was with her because I don't want your apology. You knew what you was doing and I don't want your apology. You did not make a mistake. You purposely did all of that. You purposely came after me. And when I wouldn't give you the energy you wanted, you threatened me. And so keep your apology. I felt her on that. I don't accept apologies from people who meant to do what they was doing. So I wasn't mad at Ken for not wanting her apology. I wish she would have just told that lady to leave. I really wish she didn't do what she did. But she did what she did. Y'all saw what happened. We ain't got to go through that. Okay, y'all saw what happened. Kenya claimed that she retaliated because she was afraid. And we now know that you were not afraid. You did so out of spite. You did that out of vengeance. You did that simply because you were pissed off. You were pissed off. But can I say, I think that Kenya, you were more pissed with Bravo than anybody else. You were more pissed with the show than you were with Britt. Because I hate to say this, but you weren't scared. I'm sorry. You could not have been scared. I know y'all about to drag me, but Kenya, you wasn't scared, girl. You were not scared. You showed those images because you were pissed. And honestly, if you would just say that, I feel like things would go better for you. You were pissed. But honestly, I think you were more pissed at the show. You were more pissed at Truly and Bravo for not having your back and not prioritizing you. You are a vet. You've been there for years. They didn't protect you. They didn't put you first. They didn't let you have your way. And you clicked out. You crashed out. That's what you did. Everybody's saying that they're disappointed in Kenya because, girl, this was your moment. This was your business. This was your event. You spent all this money. You put all this time. You worked so hard. And you let some BS overshadow your hard work. You dedicated the entire thing to your daughter. But then you tainted it with those images that you showed of Brie Edie. I have to agree. I have to agree with that. If I was in attendance and we didn't had a beautiful night, we didn't been doing all this, we had the Bonner's Brother inspired segment, we had the Showtime at the Apollo, you got to be Kiki Shepard and pick your winner. You guys, like, it looks so beautiful. The setup looks so beautiful. It's like a huge accomplishment. And then out of nowhere, somebody walks in that you don't like. Mind you, you have bloggers, you have the Who's Who in Atlanta. Lawrence and you filmed this scene where he was saying how you inspired him and you helped him at the beginning of his career. You taught him how to sew hair clips onto a weft. It wouldn't be me if it wasn't shady. Kenya, how you knew how to sew hair clips onto tracks when you don't wear weave, girl? He said you was the first person who showed him how to do that. How you learn how to do that, girl? And you don't be wearing tracks. I caught that, okay? I'm a hairstylist, so you know I love me some hair. I caught that. But anyways, it really was a sweet moment. It was endearing, you know. Miss Lawrence has done amazing. Then went out there and became a solidified actor, like a real true actor doing the thing. And for Miss Lawrence to come back and be on the show with you and shoot that scene and, you know, just have a cute, sweet moment, that was really nice and lovely to see. And then we done watch all of this. And then that girl comes in there. This girl to come in there and you just change. You just turn into something different. If I was in attendance and I'm watching this, I would have been for real confused. I would have been confused because the speech that she gave, that was already tacky. It was tasteless. It wasn't cute. Yes, I am that bitch. I will forever be that bitch. And I will always be that bitch. And for her to come after me, I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. And it was just like, you was just going off. And I know you had a hype man in the audience, but I promise you, none of that, it wasn't the moment that you thought it was. And I also think you were pissed off right now because it didn't land the way you wanted it to land. I think you thought you was going to turn, you thought you was about to just do the damn thing. And you left a lot of people walking away looking uncomfortable. People were disgusted with you. Yeah, some people thought it was hilarious. You had your cheerleaders hyping you up like it was a good thing that you did. I'm sorry, I don't feel like it landed. Maybe if it had landed, you wouldn't be in trouble. You wouldn't be in the trouble that you're in. But I really don't feel like it landed. I really don't feel like it gave what you thought it was going to give. First of all, for you to be having such a nice night and for someone to come in and just turn you into something, oh God. So my question is, if Britt had never showed up, were you going to ask the presentation? Were you not going to show it? Because it seemed like your whole countenance just changed once you saw Britt and she was trying to apologize to you. It was like, oh, hell no, bitch. I want to still be mad because I got something to do. Girl, she got the very best of you. You went out sad, sis. You went out really, really, really sad. When I tell y'all, I'm an anxious person, okay? Let me just let y'all know I'm an anxious person, which is also why don't threaten me. Don't threaten me, baby. I've been through too much trauma, okay? Being an adult has traumatized me severely because I promise you, the day I turned 19, baby, life came at me and came at me fast. I started going through so much craziness. So I am naturally an anxious person. And now I'm also a traumatized person that's trying to heal. But I don't do threats. So I understand why Kenya felt the way that she felt. But when I tell you I was watching this scene, like I saw how she changed after she saw Britt, and I just got anxious. Like my anxiety, like anxiety was like through the roof. I was like, oh my God, she about to do it. She about to do it. She about to do it. That's how I was sitting watching this. I was just like, oh my God. It made my nerves so bad. So bad. When Kelly was like, I'm not about to stay here for this. Oh no, I'm not about to do this with you. I don't know what was on those cue cards or those poster boards, whatever you want to call them. I don't know. Speaking as a retired crash out, trust me, I always want to get my lick back. I promise you, if you do something small to me, I'm going to do something big to you. So your best bet is to leave me alone. Your best bet is if you see somebody minding their business, let them attend to their business. Don't bother nobody. What Omarion said it the best. Omarion said it the best. Don't bother peaceful people because their peace means so much to them. When I tell you that was a word, that was a word. So when I tell you I understand that Kenya was already a ticking time bomb because I feel like Bravo has treated her a way that's made her feel unappreciated. It's made her feel used. It's made her feel she don't like how she's been treated. Okay? And I understand the trauma in that. And I understand like if I tried to put myself in Kenya's shoes, she's been jumping through hoops for a minute. And then she's finally in this space where I just want to be happy and I just want to have a good time on this show. I've already paid my dues. I've done all my hard work. I just want to sit back and reap the benefits. I want to promote businesses. I want to get a bag. I want to retire soon. I want to be able to make sure I walk away from this platform with something that I can give to my daughter. I totally get that. And so for Britt to come and knock you off your square, girl, I know you had it was it. It was the straw that broke the camel's back and you just lost it. You really lost it. But as I was watching that, I realized what you did really wasn't about Britt. It really wasn't about Britt. You were mad at the show. Yeah, you were annoyed with Britt, but I don't truly believe you did that because you were scared. You did that because you were pissed. That girl, she came and she pushed the last button in you. And unfortunately for her, she had some stuff out there that fell into your hands. I don't know. I don't know what's about to happen. I really don't. In her speech, right before the reveal, she says, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm not going to let nobody mess with me no more. You weren't talking about Britt. You were pissed that you couldn't get your way with Bravo. Which, it confuses me even more because you basically acknowledge that you don't feel like you're favored over there. You don't feel like you're one of the protected. You don't feel like they like you as much. You feel like you're undervalued. You're overused. You're mishandled. All of the things. Y'all saw it. If you didn't, maybe you want to go back and watch. But your anger, your smoke was really for Bravo and Truly. But you couldn't do them nothing. So you did the something to Britt. That's what happened. And honestly, I've seen a lot of the social media stuff that Kenya's been engaging in lately, and it's been annoying me. Because if she could just say straight up, I was pissed off and that's why I did what I did. If she would just say what it is, I could support her. I really could be like, man, I could go up for you, Kenya. I really could support her. But it's like you started it off by saying you didn't do that. That wasn't true. You said you were having a live. When you went on live, you were talking about your salon. You didn't address it. Obviously, I know you couldn't address it, but why even put it out there that you were going to? Then you go on Tamarind and you cry. You say you were scared and you were trying to protect yourself. And then now people are they bashing Cynthia, and it's just too much. It's just too much, girl. You as a grown woman, a full grown woman, a mother, a businesswoman, somebody who's had what, a 30-year career, you purposely went and did what you did. You need to just own it. Just own it. That's what you did, because you were upset. But people making all types of excuses, y'all gonna get on my nerves. Y'all are really gonna get on my nerves. Well, Bravo shouldn't have aired it if it was so inappropriate, and Bravo should have stopped her. And the production, they saw them poster boards and they let her do it. And this, that, and the third. And this person did that. Somebody was like, oh, and Kyle showed someone's this, and this happened, and that happened. And it's like, none of that really matters. What Kenya did, I'm sorry to say, but it was wrong. The only thing for her to do was just say, yes, I did it. Because I felt this way. I was upset. And I did that. And you can apologize or you cannot apologize. But to like now start throwing all these different things, it's crazy though. Like, it's really crazy. I don't want to say that her being fired is her karma, but I would like to remind the people that when Nene was exiting Bravo, Kenya took it upon herself to do several interviews about Nene's departure and how they've been trying to phase you out and they've been tired of you and you're not as important to the network as you thought you were. And you should just give up. You should just let it go and move on with your life. When I saw that someone posted or reposted Nene's appearance on Watch What Happens Live, when she was talking about Cynthia being a flip-flopper and aligning herself with Kenya because she was mad at Nene, and then Kenya reposted that or commented on that and, you know, affirming it. I was like, Kenya, girl, Kenya, what are you doing? You're reposting something that was originally made to be negative towards you. Like, what are you doing? Kenya, girl, you look crazy. I'm sorry, but I think what Kenya did was wrong. Like, I didn't see the pictures, but we heard Cynthia on the hot mic saying, don't nobody want to see nobody. Y'all heard it, okay? The looks on people's faces, people were saying how gross it was. Portia was visibly disturbed. Shamia was disturbed. Angela was disturbed. This is the thing, right? I spoke on earlier how Britt said she was doing music videos while she was still in high school. And she really wanted to be a model and she wanted to be famous. One has to, I mean, and Kenya don't have to do nothing, okay? Don't get me wrong. Like, if that's how she felt, that's how she felt. She don't got to do nothing. But I really feel that people should realize, right? You don't know what be going on through people's lives. Like, you don't know what people have experienced. You see the person in front of you, but you don't know what has happened to them. You don't know where they came from. You don't know what they've experienced. You don't know what they've gone through. If she was doing music videos in high school, I'm a little afraid to know what all she's done. I mean, I guess we kind of know now what all she's done, but we don't even know, even though we know some of what she's done, we don't know everything. Britt started doing music videos at 18 while she was still in high school. Can you imagine what all she's done? Can you imagine the state of mind that she was in when she's done the things that she's done? If she was doing, you know, adult content, do we know her state of mind? Do we know if she was on substances? Do we know if she was being trafficked? Do we know if she had an abusive boyfriend telling her she better do it and taking her money if you get what I'm putting down? We don't know. Okay, if she did it and people are like, well, it was out there, it was public, let's be real here. When people consume adult content, they don't do it in the streets. They don't host open events with bloggers to showcase I mean, maybe they do, because I don't really know nothing about that life. But usually, adult content is consumed in private. If I saw my neighbor in some adult content, you think I'm going to say something to them about it? I'm not, because what was you doing when you saw it? Okay? If I saw my boss adult content, you think I'm going to go tell my boss, hey, I saw you doing this, that, and the third? I'm not going to do that. Why would I do that? Because, like I said, usually when people consume that type of stuff, it's in private. Where have you ever heard someone was having a grand opening and they used that grand opening to expose someone's nudes or sex videos or adult content? That's not something that happens. It's just not. So I am not a lawyer. I'm not a lawmaker. I'm not well versed on what qualifies as revenge P and what does not. But what you did, that was revenge P. You were upset with her and you wanted to humiliate that girl in the worst way possible. I remember on Tamron Hall, she said something like, oh, well, I knew Bravo was going to blur it. It's not even about Bravo airing it. Everyone already knows that it happened. So whether Bravo airs it or not, everyone knows that it happened. You invited bloggers to this event. You invited the who's who in Atlanta to this event. This was a public event. And people had cameras. Everybody has a camera on their damn phone. You don't know what was screen grabbed. So I'm sorry, Kenya. I'm not a lawmaker. I'm not a prosecutor. I've never studied revenge P. I haven't looked it up to see what all qualifies of it. But that's what you did, sister. That's what you did. You did this in front of an audience. You did this in front of a room full of people. I'm pretty sure a lot of people in that room, they done took some pictures before. They done made their own adult content. Okay, they done made themselves some home videos. People have lives outside of this show. You don't know what people have experienced. You don't know who in that room, boyfriend or ex-boyfriend or ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend or whomever, then got a hold of their nudes or their videos and have. I remember this. Side note. This was a long time ago. This was a long time ago. But I have an uncle that, baby, he's a legend in these streets. I'm just going to leave it at that, okay? My uncle is a legend in these streets. And he was newly divorced, and he had about like 6 girlfriends, okay? And one of the girlfriends sent him nudes. The other girlfriend found it, and she distributed it. This is way before there was ever a revenge P law. And I remember my mom was furious. Oh, my mom was furious. I'd never seen her be mad at her brother, ever. She was furious. And I was young, so I was kind of like, girl, okay. I didn't get it. But now, at this age now, I do get it. Like, that is so, it's messed up. It just really is messed up. I feel like as much as we don't like people and people get on our nerves, there's just certain things you just don't do. And I'm sorry, Kenya, that was wrong. I feel like people have been jumping down Cynthia's throat all last weekend because she didn't publicly support you. And it's just like, Cynthia has a young daughter. People get into all types of things. What if that was her daughter or one of her nieces? Or one of her young cousins that she loves? Like, she probably saw that girl face. And then on top of that, how old was Brittany in those photos? Was she 20? Was she 19? We don't even know. But it's just like anybody who is a mother of a daughter or an aunt to a niece or a cousin to a young girl or whatever, especially in today's climate where people just, all types of stuff happen, you're not going to feel good about seeing something like that. You're not going to feel good being looped into something like that. They recorded that, and like I said, people had their camera phones out. You don't know if Cynthia's face is in one of the pictures when you're sitting up there holding the poster board. You do not know. Like, I'm not mad at Cynthia's reaction. I'm not mad at Portia's reaction. I'm not mad at Shamia's reaction or Angela. Angela has a young daughter. I think she has more than one daughter. That could be one of them. I think when I was, I know I said it in one of my videos before. I'm not sure which video. But I mentioned how Vanessa Williams, she was Miss America. I think she had taken some topless photos at some point. You know, she was trying to get her money up. I think she was in college. I'm not sure. I don't remember because this is a little bit before my time. But I remember hearing about the scandal that she lost her crown. I think she won Miss America. And then after she won, the photographer who had possession of these photos sold the photos, I think, to a tabloid or something. And she was stripped of her crown and her title. This is something that could happen to anyone. I think the way that people are trying to look at it is like, oh, well, she shouldn't have been doing nasty stuff. She shouldn't have came for Kenya. She shouldn't have came for the queen. And she had them photos out there. She should have been on her best behavior. But the truth of the matter is you never know how desperate a person is. You don't know their situation. You don't know what's going on. We're in a day and age where we're trying to restore respect in humanity. There are lots of people who do sex work and they survive. They make a living off of it. You don't never know people's situation and how they have their backs against the wall. You never know what it takes for someone to stand in front of you. You don't know what they've been through. And I'm not saying Kenya has to care about any of that. But as a person, I can't help but to think like, damn, this girl has a story though. When she said that she had to start a GoFundMe to bury her father, that touched my heart. I lost my mother the same year she said she lost her father. But less than a year prior to that, I lost my dad. And my dad didn't have no life insurance. My dad was planning on relocating. He was trying to go back to Africa, literally. And my mom was sick. And I don't even want to get into the details of all of it, but he was murdered. One thing that I thank God I didn't have to worry about is when I say the family and the community and the friends, they like raised the money overnight. Like I didn't even know that there was no money before I could even think about how we were going to bury him. Like the money was just there. The money was just boom. We got like I didn't even have to worry or scratch my head or think about it. I cannot imagine like all the grief that I was feeling, how distraught that I was when my father was killed. I can't imagine having to wonder how I'm going to pay to bury him. So when I see Britt sharing her story, I got to respect her at least for that, because she survived something that I didn't have to survive. You know what I mean? She went through something that would have taken somebody else out of here. And so for that alone, I wonder, like, what was this girl's story? What did this girl have to do? What did this girl go through, right? For her to end up doing these types of things, that is something she clearly is not proud of. And I mean, I guess you don't have to care. No one has to care. Like, no one has to care about what you've been through. But I feel like Cynthia being a mom to a young adult woman who I'm pretty sure she does silly, crazy stuff all the time. She's finding herself in all types of situations all the time. That had to make her feel some kind of way. Angela being a mother to daughters, she had to have felt some kind of way. Kelly having daughters who, especially teenagers, they get into stuff all the time. So for what, I'm sorry, what Kenya did, I didn't think it was right. I'm sorry, I don't think it was right at all, because you just never, like, you don't know what somebody went through when she was doing those things. And I'm not trying to shame her for it. Maybe she's not ashamed of it, you know. Maybe she's ashamed of how it was presented to people. Maybe she would have eventually told us what she did. I don't know. But I still feel like what Kenya did was wrong. It was wrong. It was. Child, I don't know. I just feel like, yes, Brittany was wrong, but Kenya, you were more wrong. You were way more wrong than Britt. I get that she was agitating you. I get that she was picking a fight with you. I get that she was trying to get a moment off of you. But these are things that you've done to others. You've done irritating things to almost everybody on the show that you've ever filmed with. Cynthia has been your right-hand man since the end of season 5 up until now. She has supported a lot of the things that you've done. She has. She's had your back the most. Yeah, you got new friends now, but before, they wasn't around. It was Cynthia who had your back. It was Cynthia who would defend you. It was Cynthia that made herself look like a crazy flip-flopping ass crazy bitch. It was Cynthia who had your back. It was. Now you got these new girls that's yes girling you right off the cliff. It's almost like, and I feel like the people are saying a lot of things, but we saw Akilah there gassing you up. We seen her on social media gassing you up. It's like, I hope she wasn't there with you, helping you with your presentation, because that's not a friend. That is not a friend. A friend is going to stop you from jumping off the cliff. She cleared the path so that you could do it. It's just like she was massaging your shoulders. Girl, jump. Girl, jump. Yes, jump off the bridge. Like, I don't know. I said in my last video that Kenya made a threat. I mentioned in my last video that sometime in season 6 that Kenya displayed a weapon while she was in her closet packing up for a trip. I couldn't remember the scene exactly, but you know how Twitter is. Twitter posted it and rejogged my memory. And I was like, this is the one I was talking about. But I'm sure you guys have probably seen it by now, where she and Brandon were in her closet and she was referring to the season 5 reunion. Do I need to pack some heat? Because I got some heat. You know, let's see this versus a stun gun. Because at the season 5 reunion, Phaedra said something rude to Kenya. Kenya said, oh, you'll be picking your teeth up off the ground, pregnant and all. Phaedra was 8 months pregnant. Phaedra had a line of stun guns called Phaedra Sparks or something. So she brought one. One was underneath the little pillow. And so at some point, I think Kenya was arguing with Peter and she was twirling around on the stage. Phaedra, sitting down, 8 months pregnant, felt threatened, even though she didn't threaten you in that moment, but she threatened you earlier, and she felt the way, so she reached for her little, she reached for that, and was like, I'll zap this bitch, right? Well, she didn't say that, but she reached for it, and everybody saw it. So I'm sure when Kenya saw it, that's what she was referring to, and she was like, do I need to pack some heat? And she said that she would shoot Phaedra in the ass and have her limping all the way to the hospital. That's what she said. She said that. Production didn't fire you for that shit. And in all honesty, I don't want to sit here and go through a list of every threat that Kenya has made on this show, because she's made a couple. She has. And y'all know how my memory is. I don't want to sit here and do that to Kenya, but you've made threats on this show. What I think happened was, first of all, they got over 10 years of footage of you, Kenya, of things that you said. And you've made some threats, and I don't want to recall all of them, but you have made some threats while being on this show. They have audio, they have video of you saying and doing things that you shouldn't be saying and doing. And so for this girl to make a threat, an empty threat, you don't know that because you don't know her. But they did their investigation. They felt like they could handle it by talking to her, giving her a very stern warning. Maybe, maybe not. Clearly, they said something to her. That's why she was apologizing, and she was talking to... She filmed 3 different scenes talking to... Was it 3? Or maybe it was 2. But we saw her... No, it was 3. We saw her talking to Angela and Shamia. We saw her talking to Portia. Then we saw her talking to her girl, Kelly. She was apologetic. They said something to her. It wasn't just okay, girl, we don't care, moving along. No, they obviously said something to her. It just wasn't to your liking. You wanted them to fire her, and they did not do that. And when they did not do that, you took matters into your own hand. And that's what you did. Be a woman and stand on it. But you going 1 minute, you was scared. The next minute, you was going to put her in her place and let her know. The next minute, other people have done it. The next minute, it's Bravo's fault because they should have stopped you. The next minute, production might have... I ain't going to be able to do all of that. I'm not going to be able to do all of that. I really wish that she would just say, I did this and I'm sorry. Or I did this and I'm not sorry. But trying to play the victim and then the villain and then... I'm tired. I really am. I can't do it. I can't do it. Like, Brit, this was a lesson to Brit and all other airheads that want to be on reality TV. Be careful who you go messing with, especially when you got some stuff in your past. Be careful, because everybody ain't playing. You sat up there and you let them gas you into doing some foolishness. Now look, now you're crying in the next episode. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I feel bad. I do feel bad because this is, like I was just saying, Kenya, you've threatened people. You've made mistakes on this show. You've done some stuff that was wrong. You sat up there and threatened Portia to beat her ass. You threatened to fight Portia in Anguilla twice. You lunged at her. And Nene and Phaedra them had to get in between y'all. And then you got in the confessionals and doubled down that you would beat her up if she's not respectful to you. Then you got at the reunion and doubled down some more and said, yes, I'm from Detroit. I'm a scrapper. I fight. Then when she pulled your card, oh my gosh, we use our words. We don't promote violence. Her grandfather was non-violent, and look at her, like, Kenya, girl. I don't want to tear you down, and I don't want to pile on you. I ain't trying to kick you when you're down, but girl, I refuse. I refuse to look like a Bird Lady supporter. I think you were wrong, girl. You were wrong. I really do think you were wrong. I think this is one of those moments where I would love to go up for you. If you could just be real and say, I was sorry. I was angry. I was angry and I snapped. I really could go up for you. But it's all the gymnastics. I can't do it because then I'm going to feel like I'm a Bird Lady supporter. Like, you were angry at Bravo. You went into the season angry. And it was like, that girl pushed the last button in you. And I feel you on that. I feel bad for you because I really do feel like Kenya has been hurt. She has been hurt. She said that. Like, for them to use you and get some of their best moments off of you and for you to feel like you haven't been protected over the years, I do feel bad for you. I do feel bad that that's how you feel. But I also feel like that's not entirely accurate because I have seen things that they've done to protect you. I have. I mean, the way that you handle Ramona on Ultimate Girls Trip. Let me shut up. I don't want to put no more stuff out there for them to use against Kenya. I really don't. But I'm just, y'all know my memory. And I didn't even finish watching that show. But what I do remember is, Kenya, you've done a lot on this show. And honestly, I think at the end of the day, they chose the side of Brit because Brit had a stronger case. If this went to court, Brit would have a stronger case against you. That's what I really think. I think the moment you told the producer, please let her do something to me so she could be gone, you cease to have a case. You don't have a case against Brit anymore. You don't have a case against Bravo at that point. But if Brit goes to court and says, this is my job. I signed a contract. This is my job. This was a work environment. This was a work event. I went and this was done to me. Brit has a case. Whether it's defined as Revenge P or something else, she has a case. So they took her side because she would have a stronger case against them. And one could say that they're a big entity, so they could easily bury her under whatever. But y'all have to also realize that Bravo has like at least 4 pending cases right now. Like Brandy suing them. I don't know if that's over, but I know Brandy was suing them. Caroline was suing them. Leah is definitely still suing them. Bethany was suing them. I think the girl from Vanderpump Rules, she has linked up with Bethany to sue them as well. Like, it's a lot going on. And then you know all of this, and then you do this to Britt. You pull this stunt. And maybe you were thinking, maybe you had some type of evil genius plan, but girl, I don't know. I don't know. And then you still playing social media games. I really would like to know, though, Kenya, do you see what you're doing? Like, you clown Nene for how she left Bravo. You're not doing anything different. To me, your situation is worse. Child, I don't know. I know a lot of my mutuals are going to be mad at me. I love y'all, but y'all girl was wrong. Kia was wrong. I'm sorry, but she's wrong. You don't do that to people. There is 100 different ways that she could have got her lick back. She did not have to do this. She did not have to do this. She didn't have to do this. I was the main one. In my last video, I was dragging the people. Like, why y'all not supporting her business? If I was an Atlanta local and I heard you did this at your salon, I'm not coming to your salon. I'm not coming to your salon. I'm not. I wouldn't go to your business. I would not support you. Like, and that's how I know you weren't scared. That's how I know you weren't scared. Because Britt, her sister looked like she get down. If you were scared before, and the girl, and Britt's from Atlanta, right? Britt is actually from Atlanta. All she had to do was gather her cousins to wait outside of your business when y'all not filming to deal with you. Hopefully y'all don't do that. Y'all don't do that. Don't do that. Let me not put that in the atmosphere. God, please don't let that happen. But I'm just saying, that's how I know you wasn't scared. Because if you did that to my little sister, I'll be ready to fight you. You got security during filming, but do you have security when you're not filming? I don't think you do. You weren't scared. You were pissed. And you had a right to be pissed. You had every right to be pissed. But you were more upset with Bravo and Truly than you were mad at Britt. Because Britt just got there. Yeah, she annoyed you. I get it. She was looking for a fight. Yes, she was looking for a moment. But you've done the same thing. When you came on that show, you pestered Cynthia. You harassed Cynthia. You harassed Nene at times. Do y'all remember the scene? I think they were at Cynthia's at the Bailey agency or something when they like moved buildings. And she was mad at Nene. Was it when she was mad at Nene because Nene shoot, I don't remember. But I remember they had on white. I think it was she was mad at Nene because Nene invited Walter to her wedding. And she was pulling on Nene's ear. Like, she literally was pulling on Nene's ear. And the restraint that it must have taken Nene to not backhand her, because I swear to God, somebody did that to me. I'm slapping the fuck out of you. Look, I don't put my hands on people. But if you touch me, or if you put your hands, like, if I see your hands coming at me, that's enough for me to touch you. You do this, if you even do this, before I say actually touch me, when I'm trying to get away from you, yeah, I might put my hands on you. I might. But I mean, I'm just saying, you have tried to get moments off of people. You have done things to irritate people. You have done things to annoy people. You have gotten your moments off of others. That doesn't mean that you don't have to, it doesn't mean you have to go along with this. You don't even have to extend her grace. But that is the reason why they're not going to fire her for making a threat. They weren't going to do it. There's too many of y'all have made threats on this show. They weren't going to fire her the first time. They gave her a warning. They gave her a warning. And they also heard you say you weren't afraid of that girl. Talking about, please let her do something to me. They heard that. So they was like, yeah, then whatever. And I also feel like Bravo and Truly, I don't think they take kindly to the cast icing out people. I don't think they like that very much. So you telling them that someone should be fired, girl, they wasn't about to do that. I don't know. I'm talking a lot. I've said a lot. I still have so much more to say. I'm really not pleased with what Kenya did. I just think that that was really damaging to a person. And it's like, yeah, what she did to you was wrong, but you could have got her back 10 more times, and it didn't have to be this. It didn't have to be this. You chose this, and what's done is done, but I think you were wrong. I think you were wrong. I think it was too much. I don't know. I've said enough. I need to shut up. Y'all, please like, comment, and subscribe. Get in these comments because I want to hear what y'all have to say. I know some of y'all be holding me down. Y'all be in the comments, and I love that. I love conversing with you all. Even sometimes I don't have time, but I love it. I love reading your comments. I love conversing with y'all. Please hop in the comments and tell me what y'all think, okay? Those of you that ain't never said nothing, say hi. Let me know that y'all came through, you know? Let me know that y'all was watching my video. Oh my gosh, y'all. No one in my immediate life really watches the show like that anymore. Like, my aunts used to watch it. They don't really watch it no more. So I need to talk to somebody, y'all. Anyways, y'all, please like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.